Hey guys, welcome to our first video. For this video, we're gonna be scaping a nano tank. It's just a 2.5 gallon tank, and it's actually quite small, and that actually makes it easier for beginners like us. So I'm with my sister Trisha. We're gonna be starting with the soil, and then we're gonna be using for this scape some dragonstones, and we're also gonna be using some Christmas moss. We're gonna be putting them on the dragonstones here. We're gonna try to make some sort of a terrace, and then we're gonna be planting some cubas for the carpeting. So let's see how it goes. So first, we're going to be putting the soil. We're using Aquaforest Freshwater Natural Substrate, which is actually the first time that I'm using this. And we're just going to be spreading it here. We're going to plant everywhere, so we want substrate.
Yeah, there's going to be a foreground in it.
All throughout. And then I need my scaping tool. What we want to do is to create some sort of a depth of perspective. So goes deep, it goes higher, like a mountainscape towards the back. I think we need more substrate. So we're adding substrate because we want the cubas to root in deeper, and I think Trisha wants to put some Ludviga as well, stem plants, the red ones. So we're going to be putting that in someday when she's fully cycled and she has a couple of livestock. This is actually good fertilized soil. So I think I want to make it a little bit deeper because we're going to be putting the DragonStone hardscape just to make sure that it has, yeah. This is, I think, my fourth scape. The first ones, I've made mistakes of not having enough substrate, not having enough soil, and obviously the plants will not be able to grow that well. So what we have in front is a very thin layer of soil, and we have at the back a much more depth in terms of the soil. So this is how it looks like right now. We have that depth going on right there. Not sure if you can see. So we'll add some more substrate on this side.
This isn't sand though, this is soil talaga.
Yeah, it's soil.
Wow, the water is gonna get so muddy for the first few days.
Yep, first few days.
Until it settles down.
So
That's good.
looking good. Yeah, the cuba doesn't need so much
soil,
depth. Yeah. Okay, so this is my spraying can. Bought it from True Value. And basically, before we plant, we just want to spray a little bit of water so that it's easier for us to plant the cubas. So we're gonna be putting the stones. Hopefully, it doesn't fall over because we wet the soil already.
Maybe we can use soil.
We're gonna make sure that it's leaning a little bit on the glass, so that it will not fall. This one looks like a centerpiece. We can have some pebbles if you want, or some lava rocks there para mabilis yung bacteria.
Yeah.
So wait, we need lava rocks to. Hindi pwedeng ganyan lang.
Although we put the stones in and we didn't put the moss, so we're gonna probably have to take some out. Why are you putting the rocks there?
To support. So
You're gonna hide the rocks?
Yes.
Oh, that's not. That's cool. Although, will it still be able to carpet?
carpet, yes. Kasi lava rocks are good bio material.
This one looks like it can have a lot.
Alright, so the scape so far. We have the dragonstones, we have the mosses, the Christmas moss in there, and we have the soil. So here's the next step. We're gonna be gluing the mosses to the hardscape, and yeah, basically that's where we're gonna go, and then we're gonna be planting the cuba afterwards.
Stuck enough.
Now to the cuba planting. This one is the cuba. It's now a little bit
Like a
dirty.
baby Monte Carlo.
It's just planted on garden soil, so it's easy to remove. I have done this for my other aquarium.
Are you gonna wash the soil off first?
No need. So you can just, from the garden soil, you can see there's a little bit brown there. You could immediately just put it in. Now I would admit that this substrate is very thin, but Monte Carlo does not need
It's not
a
Monte
lot
Carlo,
of
it's
soil.
Cuba.
Oh, sorry, Cuba does not need a lot of soil anyway.
It's in a carpet underground, so the soil's gonna. I mean, the roots are gonna
Run.
horizontally anyway.
Yes. So these guys are also runners. They're just gonna run their roots around and sprout more heads.
So do you want to explain the difference between dry start and wet start?
So dry start is basically you don't fill it up with water. You wait for your carpeting plants to root and to maybe have some runners also, so that it can already multiply on the substrate.
Sometimes when you add water, they float to the surface. So when you wait for them to root first, at least you have a firm foundation. I think I'm gonna probably do a dry start just because I don't think the cubo will be rooting well anytime soon.
Yeah.
So maybe just miss this over the course of 1 week. Then after 1 week, I can put the water in.
Also
And
free
start my
CO2. If you dry start, it's free CO2
Yeah.
for them. Don't need a tech tank. And they grow faster. Just mist them. 6 sprays a day. Cover it with
I don't have that kind of
Plastic.
spray though.
yung sa alcohol lang.
Yeah.
Na spray. Place it with water. Then just spray it. So if you're wondering where I got the cuba, I just grew them from seeds. And where I got the seeds is from Lazada. These are Chinese cubas.
It's really hard to do carpeting plants, especially when it's a wet start. So this is actually a lot easier than wet start, but still very difficult.
Wala namang wet start usually.
I mean, sorry, underwater. No, I did it underwater kasi.
Anubias is harder for me.
I think planting big plants are a lot easier because their roots are really long.
If it's a stem plant, yes. That's why yung sa akin, I just did the rubber band style and rubber banded it to a rock, a lava rock.
So I can't add any other plants because it's going to be a dry start. So it's going to have to live with the carpeting and the moss for a few weeks. Because compared to the carpeting plants, the other plants can't live when it's not underwater, right?
They can, but you have to make sure the humidity is 24/7, which is difficult if you don't have the equipment.
How much humidity would that mean? Like really wet or just kind of humid?
If you have the plastic, the cling wrap
Yeah.
over it, humid is okay.
But if not, really wet.
If not, then yeah, really wet. So we're actually done with the scape. This is the hardscape with the moss and the carpeting plants. So we're gonna document, I think every week perhaps,
Yeah.
how this is going to go. how it's going to carpet, how the moss is growing. This definitely needs light, so there has to be a LED light here. It could be a clip-on, or probably a clip-on because it's a 2.5 gallon nano tank. We need to also cover it with a cling wrap, make sure that the humidity stays inside, and once a day you just have to make sure there's ventilation, just blow over it, and then you spray your spray bottle, 3 to 6 sprays. Sometimes I do 8 if I could see from the glass that the soil is already drying up, then I do a little bit more spraying. So that really depends on you, but one rule is you don't overspray, otherwise algae and unwanted, it looks like very dirty moss will just populate your soil. So
how often should the light be on?
8 to 12 hours a day at least. The intensity, well, since you have moss and carpeting plants, not so intense. That's okay. All right. See you next week.